There are days when no matter how hard you try, it's just not happening. Now then, intentional camera movement. For those of you who don't know, it's the art of creating movement within a shot simply by moving the camera. You can zoom in and out. I've never quite got the knack of that one. Or you just pan your camera up and down. So the trick is to set a slow enough shutter speed that you can get some movement whilst not blowing out all the details. I've done a few before, and certainly in woods I absolutely love the effect that it has. The ones that I'm shooting, I think I'm at f8 and hundredths of a second, maybe slightly less, and that just gave me enough time to move the camera up quickly. Obviously I don't do it on tripod, I'm hand holding. It's a case of press the shutter and flick the camera up, and if you do it straight and smooth you get some really ghostly effects. Let's say I quite like the effect that it gives. I mean, with my inability to emulate a certain Mr. Baxter, I'll settle for that. Well, there are times when you just have to admit defeat, and there's no harm in that, there's no shame in it. Go out, try, see what you can find, learn from the areas you've been to. There may be something there at a different time of year. This particular area, the Rivelin Valley, I think certainly during summer and possibly during spring, I've seen swathes of bluebells coming up already. That's the time to come back here. I'm still not 100% convinced there's actually anything photogenic here. There is a lot of very picturesque scenes, but they're not translating, for me at least, into an image. There are days when no matter how hard you try, it's just not happening. I'm kind of soaked. I've come down off the tops because I just wasn't seeing anything in the snow. Excuse me, we've just got a runner coming past me and I'm perched precariously. The tree that I got in mind to take an image of had no snow on it. Yeah, couldn't write it, could you? So I've come down to explore a place that I've heard about, but I've never been to. And I'm not having much luck here either, apart from getting wet. But I found this little spot of a gorgeous overflow down here. But then there's lots of sort of nothing until you get to this, which looks like a roller, you know, like a grass roller. And on either side we've got vibrant green moss. It's still raining, so I've had to be, my camera's getting really wet, I ought to put the waterproof cover on really. I've had to be a bit quick taking the shot because I needed to use a filter. My Lee little stopper is a Wayward Lee being exchanged for one that actually doesn't have a colour cast. I was at f16 and I just wasn't getting quite long enough exposure without a filter. And I'd run out of hands, so I couldn't show you what I was doing. I was holding my filter holder bag here, and I slid a 0.6 so it doesn't matter which grad it was a 0.6 grad all the way down, and then I took a shot, and that shot was at, I think, 2.5 seconds, 2 seconds, where are we, 2 seconds, and that worked out quite nicely. That just gave me a little bit of movement in the water and a smoothness to where it's falling over the edge there, because I was determined I was going home with something today. Never say never. Yeah, so that's quite nice. It's now stopped raining, kind of, and I think there's actually some sun coming out, so I might have another go now I'm not in danger of getting my filters wet, because I really don't like raindrops on my filters. So now we've got a bit of light coming through, I'm going to give it another go. Well, that's me done for today. I've had quite enough rain to last me this morning. The sun is now coming out. I'm drying off a little bit, but my feet are a bit soggy and my head's a bit soggy. It hasn't been a wasted trip. I've been to a new location. I think it would work better at a different time of year, possibly in springtime when the swathes of bluebells are coming up, or in autumn when you've got the autumn fall colours. It's been good to have a wander around and get it off the list of places and into reality. Never a wasted trip. I've had lots of exercise. I've walked for about 5-6 miles in total today. I've got a couple of images that I'm happy with. The intentional camera movement ones, a bit abstract. Certainly the quarry with the silver birch needs mist, or it needs snow. A lot more snow than was there today. It just didn't work for me at all. But I've seen some trees that, in the right conditions, will make some superb images. So I'm quite happy with that. And wandering around down here in Rivelin, yes, it's been good fun. And I can definitely see potential. There's lots of picturesque scenes, but they don't necessarily translate into photographs or images. But never a wasted trip. A scouting trip is always good, and it gets you out in the fresh air, gets you up at silly o'clock, because somebody has moved sunrise to 6:30 in the morning. When did that happen? So I've got an hour's trip to get there for 5:30. Somebody's getting up at 4 o'clock, and I knew sunrise wasn't going to happen. The forecast said no sunrise whatsoever, it's all going to be hidden, and it was. But at least I was out and about, so that's good. So I hope you've enjoyed the trip. Thank you for coming along, and I'll see you next Sunday, and we'll do it all over again. Bye for now.